Hey, welcome back. Today we are in 1 Chronicles 28, verse 9, and we're just going to read part of it. My son Solomon, acknowledge the God of your father and serve him with wholehearted devotion and with a willing mind, for the Lord searches every heart and understands every motive behind the thoughts. During this part of scripture, David is kind of passing on the baton to Solomon. And in chapter 28, he is actually telling Solomon all the plans that God had downloaded to him for the temple that was to be built to hold the Ark of the Covenant. And so as he's doing this, he just kind of turns like a father would to a son to Solomon, and he looks and he's like, listen, you have got to acknowledge the God of your father, me. Like, you have got to acknowledge God as you do this. And when we acknowledge God in our everyday life, it's just realizing and recognizing and saying out loud that he is the ruler. We surrender everything to him. We acknowledge his kingship. We say who he is. Do we do that on a regular basis? Do we actually surrender to him and wake up each morning and be like, God, you are the king of the universe. I'm yours. My day is yours. And I want only what you have for me. Forget my schedule. If it needs to be uprooted because it's not based on your will, then please uproot me and don't let me be planted again unless it is on your path. Do we do that? I mean, that's a good question to ask ourselves. And then he says, and serve him with wholehearted devotion and with a willing mind. So what this means here, it sounds kind of simple, but when you break down the words and you look at the original words, wholehearted and then willing, wholehearted is you can't have anything else in your heart. You have to be completely sold out for God and not just saying it. What rules your time? Where does your true treasure lie? Is it in your job? Is it in your family? Is it in your career, what you're known for? Or is it solely in God and following his will? That is wholehearted. What is our heart actually treasuring? Because wherever our treasure is, that's where our heart will lie. So if our treasure is not aligned with God, then our heart is not going to be wholly his. In a willing mind, just being willing to give up what we have thought up, willing to listen to what God has to say and not shutting him down before he even gets to talk. We have to completely give it all to him. And then he says, for the Lord searches every heart and understands every motive behind the thoughts. So we can say one thing, oh yeah, I'm doing this for God. Oh, this is so great. God be glorified. Yes, yes, yes. But is that true? Or are we doing it to get our own pride built up? Are we doing it to be seen? Are we doing it that way people are oh wow, they've really made a change. Look at them. Wow. It better be completely for God, because he knows whether we acknowledge it ourselves, whether we tell other people, whatever, he knows. He searches every thought and knows every motive behind it. So may our hearts be completely, wholeheartedly, and willing, sold out for the Lord, following him alone. And may our thoughts and our motives be pure. May they be completely devoted to our King.